Hello, all of my beautiful souls. Spirit channeled me this morning as I was waking up some more information about what is going on right now in the heavens regarding the planetary parade, regarding the new moon in Aquarius, and all these beautiful, powerful astrological energies, not to mention all the solar storms that we have going on right now as well. So, what Spirit told me is that this is essentially an energetic reset. And what this means is exactly what it suggests. We are being energetically reset and recalibrated to this new timeline. A lot of people have been talking about a timeline split, as though a new timeline split is going on. And the way that Spirit showed me this was, we talk about this all the time. The timelines have the official, the big timeline split has already happened. And in our own individual lives, we have timeline splits every single day, right? Every time we make a choice, we're aligning with the higher timeline, our personal individual higher timeline, or our personal lower timeline. And there are infinite numbers of timelines in between, all right? Now, as a collective, in November of 2024, we had another massive timeline jump or split. The entire year of 2024 was essentially a massive timeline jump. And we solidified that in November of 2024 and November and December of 2024. All right, that's why we called it the quantum leap year through consciousness. Now in 2025, as Spirit has shown me, we are essentially experiencing the death of the old timeline or the old reality. And this would be the collective timeline. But what Spirit wanted me to understand and wanted all of us to understand is that there are many timelines, not just for our individual ascension, but also for the collective ascension. And there are two major timelines right now. The timeline of ascension and the timeline of descension. Or I guess I call it descension because it sounds accurate to me. We could call it whatever we want to call it, right? The 3D timeline, the false matrix timeline. The false matrix is no longer in the outer reality, right? The broadcast system has been taken down. We have removed that energy in an outer sense. But on an inner sense, it still remains. It is living within the people who still uphold that programming within themselves. But there is no outer relay system. There's no longer an outer broadcast system cementing that energy in. It's all going on an internal basis. And those who are aligned with that frequency still are still experiencing that. And that is essentially what's been holding up the false matrix. And so what Spirit's showing me now is because of this, it was essential for another split. Oh, interesting. Okay. So because so many people hold within them, because remember, as within, so without. They hold within them this false matrix programming. There had to be another split so that they were essentially not hold. And I hate to put it like this. There's no judgment in any of this. All right. It's just what's coming through and it's just the energy. But they were holding everybody else back who was raising their frequency by upholding that false matrix. And I'm questioning Spirit a little bit right now because it seems strange to me that because everything is as within, so without. I'm questioning how it is that the outer relay system, right? So this would be all the frequencies, all of the energetic, the vibrations and the projections that were upholding the false matrix. How it is that was able to be taken down when it still existed. Oh, okay. It still existed within a good chunk of the collective, but it had been broken down. Those of us on this journey of healing had broken down enough of the false matrix conditioning within that outer upholding or energy of the false matrix was able to be taken down. And I don't remember exactly when that happened. It's happened sometime since 2012. I want to say it happened around 2020. if you trace back in the videos on this channel long enough, you'll find videos where I talked about this, probably in the title of the videos, for those on YouTube who are watching this on DSOM, Dark Side of the Moon Tarot and Astrology. I'm going to be posting this on multiple accounts. So, yeah. But we don't need to, it doesn't matter right now when the false matrix officially fell. But I do feel, as memory serves me, 2020, 2021, that was the biggest split since 2012. And I do believe that feels as though that was when it happened, but it's happened. All right. So some people are still upholding that though within their energy system. They don't want to let it go. And what Spirit was also showing me was, like, as we're going through this process, even though people have chosen different timelines, and you choose a new timeline, like we said, every single moment, every time you choose love out of fear, every time you choose service to others over service to self in the negative polarized way, which is where it's, because there's positive and negative service to self, right? When we help another, we feel good. So it is in a way service to self, but there's the kind that the interests that only align with the self, where it's like, I don't care who I hurt. I don't care what happens as long as I get what I want. And I'm going to use you to get what I want if it serves me. All right. That's the negative type of service to self that we're talking about. So we make a choice every single time we decide, like, we align, we reinforce that alignment with whatever timeline we're on. Every time we make those little decisions, every time we choose ourselves in a positive sense, every time we allow ourselves to heal, every time we act in a way that is self-loving or loving of others without detriment to the self. That's a trick for a lot of us. I'm getting lost on a tangent now. So where were we going with this? Oh yeah. So Spirit was telling me that even though we have chosen two separate timelines, many of the collective, and you can see this very clearly right now, the entire collective, because the earths are still attached, they're not fully split apart, right? And that is just like the way that works is more for our linear understanding than like it's an intricate process, this splitting. All right, but we're gonna say splitting because we can understand that, right? And so we're still attached, we're connected. And so all of this high vibrational light that's coming through, all these light codes, all of these resets that are happening, like, this isn't just a reset of the timeline. This is a reset of our DNA. This is a complete energetic reset, like we said. So it's not just the people who chose the higher timeline who are experiencing this. It's everybody. The difference is what you do with that energy. So those of us who understand what's going on, or even those that don't understand but are in their hearts, more in their hearts than they're in their heads or in their fear, those who are ready to grow and desiring to grow and expand, even if they don't understand like all the esoteric nuances of what's going on, those people are going to take that energy and we're going to allow it to transform us. We're going to allow it to assist us in healing, to assist us in purging and releasing. And we're going to do that willingly because we want what's on the other side of that. And because we simply accept that as part of this experience. Right? Part of this experience of being human and being on this planet at this time of ascension. The people in the lower timeline are also going to receive this. And remember, when we receive light, when we receive these light codes and these energies, it triggers a purging energy where the energy that is not a matching vibration to that begins to rise to the surface so it can be released. So those of us who are ready to release are releasing it. And we understand that releasing it means feeling it, right? But not attaching to it. And being a curious observer of this process. People who are still living out the false matrix programming within their DNA, within their cells, within their minds, their belief structures, are going to, it's like the energy's trying to leave and they're trying to pull it back in, right? Because they want to stay attached to that old timeline because it's comfortable, because it fits within the framework of what they know and understand about themselves and the world. So this is where we're seeing this intensification, and we're going to continue to see this year in 2025 into 2026 and probably even beyond, right? And for all of my empaths out there, this is going to feel really intense because all this energy is going to be floating around, you know, and they're grabbing it. They're trying to stuff it back in. They're trying to attach to it. We are releasing it, right? But in the meantime, we're feeling all of this floating around in the ethers. This is why you want to spend as much time as you can by yourself, honestly, or around people who are also in the same frequency as you. You want to make sure you're clearing your energy a lot. Also, because your own energy is detoxing too, right? None of us who are aware of this process, we're not perfect. We're not perfectly healed. I mean, we are perfect, right? Like ultimately. Right? Ultimately, we're all healed, we're all whole, we're all perfect. This is the illusion. We're shedding the illusion. And that's what this 2025 year is all about. Because remember, yes, we're going through an energetic reset right now with the planetary parade, which is all these planets who are lined up, not in an exact line the way that they talk about it in a lot of these videos, right? They're kind of dispersed around in different constellations, but like all visible in the night sky, and many of them, most of them connected to each other in some way, right? At like some type of angle within astrology. So the planets are connected. All right. The sun is connected, of course, as is the earth. We forget sometimes that the earth is within these planets, right? Everything is all receiving this beautiful energy from the sun, these beautiful recalibrations. Everyone is essentially, it's kind of like the planets are singing their own harmony together, is the way that Spirit's showing it me. And that harmony that they're creating as they sing together and combine their frequencies is kind of like binaural beats. How you have one frequency in one ear, one frequency in the other ear, and then your brain makes up the third frequency. And so that's what the planets are doing for us, with, like we said, the sun and the earth being part of these planets. And so that frequency is buzzing through our bodies. It's buzzing through our field. It's buzzing through Earth's field. It's really, really beautiful. And it's raising the energy. And it's happening right now, but it's going to be happening essentially all through 2025. We're going to have peaks and valleys of this energy as we continue to experience this reset. And some of us are going to be flowing with it. And yes, we're going to have resistance come up. That's a natural part of this process, right? The ego continues to come up. We still have the ego. The ego connects us to the third dimension. And honestly, I feel like there's an aspect of ego that continues on into higher dimensions as well. I don't know if we completely release the ego until we reunite with source. That's just me. Take that with a grain of salt. But like, we still got plenty of it going on right now, right? And like I said, we still got plenty of healing to do. None of us are perfect. We're still on a journey. Just because we're aware of what's going on and we're learning how to flow with it better doesn't mean that we're not struggling still, right? There may be some really intense struggles for everyone moving through 2025, unless you are really, really aligned with your highest self and really in that zone of energy. But even the people that you see who seem like they've got it all together are having moments where their own ego energy is coming up, where their own resistance is coming up, where they are struggling as well, where it's like right now, Spirit's showing me, or was showing me earlier, like the onion and the layers that are being peeled off the onion right now. We use that as an analogy in healing, not just in the spiritual world, but in 12-step, we used to do that as well. Right, so the layers being peeled away. Some of us may have old health conditions coming to the surface that we thought we had cleared, that are receiving a deeper clearing because we're digging into a deeper layer of our cellular memory and our DNA right now, if that makes any sense. It's like this light, Spirit showing me this light, just like, I don't know what the word is, where it's permeating, there we go, permeating our cells, like a deeper layer of our cells, and like more deeply connecting with our DNA, I guess is one way to put it. And oh my God, the DNA strands that I'm seeing that twirling and swirling, they're so beautiful right now. So this is such a powerful recalibration. It's going deeper, which means that there's another layer where some of this energy has been trapped that's releasing. So if you have old health complaints coming up that you thought you had cleared, if you have old thought patterns that you thought you had cleared, old emotions, even like to certain Spirit showing me that for some of us, it's like situations that we thought that we were no longer emotional about, meaning we had released the karma. You know, you've released the karma when you're no longer emotionally attached at all, are still coming back up because there's still some level of attachment we didn't see, right? This is what's going to keep happening as we move through this year, that deeper and deeper layer of that. And as we move through this process, we're releasing more and more conditioning. The internal false matrix is continuing to break down. And as that process goes, we're going to see the false matrix, the externalized hologram of the false matrix, I want to say, continuing to break down as well. Because remember, like I said, the only place it really exists is within the people who are hanging on to it. So as those of us who are willing to release continue to break down where that is encoded within us, we're going to see more breakdown in the world around us, but we're still going to have the people clinging on to that old timeline. And honestly, I have to say, I'm feeling more and more powerfully that we're going to have a lot of people hanging on to that still. Not everybody is going to ascend. Some people are going to repeat an experience like this that they need to experience, and that's okay. We're infinite beings. Right? We have this idea when we talk about the false matrix and the archons and all of this that we're trapped. We're not trapped. We can never be trapped. We are infinite light. All right? That is an illusion. That is one of the illusions that we are peeling away. Just like the illusion that we are separate from ourselves, from source. We feel separate in this reality. That's how it was designed, but we are not separate. We never were. We cannot be separate. All right, because we are God. We are that creation energy, that spark of that creational energy, that God spark, that God source, God light, I want to call it right now. All right, it's just another illusion. The trapping is all up here. For some, it's here. It's all through wherever we're holding this attachment to that pain, to that trauma, to those stories that we've accumulated over lifetimes, that's been reinforced over lifetimes because we come in with the same belief systems and we haven't cleared them yet. That's the karma. The belief systems are the karma. They are what we can see of the karma. They're like the trail, like Spirit showing me now, like a tracker when you track somebody through the woods or an animal through the woods, like the little, where you can see where they peed or like where they crushed leaves or sticks and different things like that. You can follow the trail. It's kind of like that. The belief systems are the trail. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people work through belief systems and working through my own belief systems and all the different ways. And I start finding simpler and simpler ways. And once I find the simplest way, I am going to share it with all of you. Right now, I've definitely figured out some ways and we're moving through it. We're working through it. That's a whole different video, right? So keep doing it. Keep moving forward. Allow this reset to occur now and with every subsequent reset. This is a big breakthrough year. All right, this is a brand new era or epoch of energy that we're entering. 2012 to 2024 was one era or one epoch. Carrie Kay talks about this and I love it because I really feel it. Although she feels the next one going until 2032, I feel 2034 when we have that final eclipse within the set of eclipses that we really highlighted the energy of with that 2017 and 2024 total solar eclipse, the Alpha and the Omega across the United States. If you guys don't know about that, I did a video of it and everyone watching on YouTube, I'll link it in the description box below. That was big. That was really, really big. It's all big. All right, so there's one final set of eclipses within that set, 2027, 2034, across Egypt, the Middle East. The second one is that's creating the line, so they're creating an X. The second one is going through Tibet, China, all of these powerful places. So I feel that this is that next set of energy, that next epoch, that next stage of this process, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be bold. It's going to be big. And it's going to require for us to stay in our hearts, to stay centered, to stay grounded, and to be really, really present for ourselves and each other. And I'll talk more about that in future videos. Right now, I just want to say I love you. I appreciate you. Keep clearing, keep doing the salt baths, working with the water, purifying your vessel, letting these emotions, these energies move through you. And attached to none, attached to nothing. Remember, none of this is you. You are pure love light energy. That's it. All right. I'll talk to you soon.